Hey guys, Kay here. Today we're playing Mushroom Boy. We are some fun guy that ran away from home because of his mushroom parents. Let's be a bastard. My mom, dad, and I lived on the outskirts of the city, right next to the forest. The house was old, covered in cracks, and seemed quite scary at night. Under the dim light of the street lamps, he sometimes seemed alive. The windows became large black eyes and the entrance door turned into a mouth. Every time I came home after school or a walk, I found myself in the stomach of this monster, but every time I managed to reach the door of our apartment. It was scary, especially when the lights in the entrance hall didn't work, but I learned to move up and down the stairs with my eyes closed. If you think about it, the house wasn't that scary. Mom and dad often quarreled for various reasons and without any reason. So often that screams and the sounds of breaking dishes have become commonplace. One of the places of protection in such moments was my room. During moments of quarrels, I ran into it as quickly as possible, hid under the bed, covering my ears with pillows so as not to hear the screams. It was more than a room. At such moments, it turned into a fortress. But even the most impregnable castle can be captured. I already know in advance that it will hurt if I get a bad grade or spill my tea. Dad will find a reason. The room's interior was rather sparse, gray walls adorned with my drawing from elementary school. It was my grandmother's house in the village. I was taken there every summer. I liked it at my grandmother's much more than at home. It's a pity that grandma is no longer with us, and the house remained only on my wall. This drawing helps us not to forget those happy days. The window of my room looked out onto a beautiful spruce forest. Watching him was one of my favorite pastimes. It was calming. In the evenings, I also really loved watching the sunset. The light from the sun filled the entire room. To avoid being seen by my arguing parents, I ran out into the street through this window, straight into the forest. When I returned home, I tried not to make any noise, otherwise I might get into trouble with my father. There was a flower on the windowsill. My father had once moved it to my room because it had wilted, and its leaves were falling onto the floor. I'm trying to water it more often, but so far there haven't been any major changes. My favorite pastime was walking in the forest. It was like a second home to me, or rather, my first. I could spend entire days here without leaving. The forest dwellers became my best friends. I could spend hours telling stories to the trees, flowers, mushrooms, and anyone else I met along the way. When I talked to them, I imagined that they had eyes to see me, ears to hear me, and even a mouth. Yes, even my mouth. I imagined that they were also talking to me, also telling me their stories, how their day went, how they were doing, how they were feeling, and much, much more. We played games together, mostly hide and seek, and I often won. Here, the feeling of fear and anxiety disappeared. I felt the happiest in the moment until it got dark and I had to return home, or my father, whom my mother sent, found me. I refused to go back, but he would just grab me by the scruff of the neck and drag me home. But as soon as I had time, I would run into the forest, and each time I didn't want to leave there more and more. On days where I couldn't escape, I loved to commune with the wind. The trees were outside the window, and you could immediately tell if it was windy or not by looking at them. So how did we communicate with the wind? Well, here it is. Our dialogue wasn't the most interesting, but it was what it was. I usually asked the wind questions and came up with different conditions. If the wind blew strongly, it meant yes. If weak, it meant no. Or, for example, tilted the tree to the right or to the left. There were many options. There was enough time to come up with them. As I said earlier, my parents often argued, and at those moments I hid in my room and waited for everything to calm down. That day I thought it would be a regular fight, Nothing new, so as usual, I crawled out from under the bed and listened to what they were shouting about. But what I heard scared me like it had never scared me before. Mom, listen to yourself. This is your child too. How can you say such things? Father, shut up. I never even wanted him, and you knew it perfectly well. I tried to persuade you to have an abortion 10 years ago, and now you have your condition. Either I give birth or you leave. I only stayed for you because I loved you. I thought I'd somehow endure it, get used to it, or suddenly you'd get tired of it and we'd send you to an orphanage. You don't want to, bitch. Why are you like this? So many years have passed, and haven't you even developed a shred of feeling in all this time? He's your son, your own blood. Since you gave birth, you've been thinking only about him, completely forgetting about me, and as you've gotten older, nothing's changed. You follow him everywhere. I'm fed up with this little bastard. All he does is wander around this wilderness, then look for him, and hope he gets lost. I wish I could kill the little creature. Enough, please. I'll talk to him now. Son. The enraged father immediately headed to my room with only one goal. An ordinary quarrel took an unexpected turn. Well, hello, my dear. It was night outside. My father forced the door open and stood in the doorway, staring at me angrily. And I, paralyzed with fear, just watched him, not yet understanding what was happening. I'd often seen him angry, but this time there was something previously unknown to me in that look, something animalistic and bloodthirsty. You're sitting here, huddled in the corner, you little rat. His eyes are like two orbits, haha. What? Are you scared? Don't be afraid, don't be afraid. It probably won't hurt. Darling, calm down, get away from him, please. Get lost. Father forcefully pushed away his mother as she ran up. As she fell, she hit her head on the wall and collapsed unconscious. Mom! Father, what's wrong with you? His face was red and wild, as if he were burning with anger. At that moment, it seemed like he wasn't my father anymore. What's wrong with me? I just love you. I love you so much. You can't even imagine. Haha. I love you madly, son, more than life itself. It's breaking my heart. Haha. No way. How I've gotten so fed up with you. You've been an eyesore for so many years. I never wanted you, do you hear me, bitch? And my patience has run out. My eyes were filled with tears. I didn't understand what was happening. I was scared like never before. I didn't know what to answer him. I just pressed myself into the corner and looked at him, my eyes wide open. My whole childhood flashed before my eyes. The forest outside the window, its inhabitants, grandmother, village. Will I never get out of here again? The thought hung in my head. No, I have to run. And I could only run to one place, which I knew like the back of my hand. Let's run. I managed to slip past my father and quickly climbed through the window. I ran into the forest without looking back with all my might. I stumbled and fell, but then I got up and ran. Anywhere, just not back. Fear filled me, it filled every part of me. I literally became fear itself. Having reached the forest, I finally slowed down and felt more protected. It was night, dark, and for some time I just wandered through the forest, recovering from what had happened. My legs moved on their own, despite the scratches and the night cold. After several hours of wandering like this, I collapsed from exhaustion in the nearest bushes covered with leaves and shivering from the cold. My head was a complete mess. My thoughts were rushing from one corner to another. I didn't understand what to do, where to go. What happened to Mom? Is she alive? I couldn't go home. My father was waiting for me there. I just ran to the closest and only place I knew well, as if by instinct. Forest dwellers. Look, everyone. Who's that lying there? He's shaking all over. It looks like a boy, but where did he come from? And his face is quite familiar, as if he had been here before. Exactly, this is the same boy who came and talked to us so often. Yes, it's definitely him. Boy, how are you? Wake up, it's us, your friends. In the morning, I was woken up by voices that were quite familiar to me, only they were no longer in my head, but in reality. Fly Agaric? Greetings, my friend. Please, don't be afraid. We've known each other for a long time. What? Sound familiar? Are you talking? This must be some kind of dream. I understand that you have a lot of questions now. You don't understand what's happening, but no. This is not a dream. Don't you remember? Tree, and me. Daisies, and us too. Look around. Don't you recognize this place? Boy, and indeed, this clearing, these trees. I often came here, almost every day, and talked with all of you. Only you usually didn't talk to me. I only imagined that you were saying something and answering me. You may not have heard us, but we remember you. We remember everything you told us. How you came running here with interesting stories to show off your crafts. Both sad and happy, we listened to you all this time. Yes. And I remember how you often hugged me when you first arrived, and when you said goodbye, how you sometimes loved to take a nap next to me or climb on me. Fortunately, my branches are strong. I'm an oak after all. And every time you came, you poured fresh water on us, removed all kinds of pests from us, and even built a shelter when there was a strong hail. You literally saved us, for which we thank you very much. And you cleared me from under the falling leaves and branches that left me without eyes for a long time. You once drove away an elk that wanted to eat me. You became a good friend and protector for us. I'm glad we could finally thank you. If it weren't for you, our life would have remained full of grayness and monotony. We can't move and are doomed to remain in one place our entire lives, and our social circle is limited to those who once grew up in the same clearing. But at some point you appeared and diluted our grayness with your childish colors. I was completely bewildered by the fact that trees, flowers, and mushrooms began to talk to me, and told them how I ended up here so late, about my father, and how I ran away. They said I could stay here as long as I needed. They were always glad to have me there. Deep down, I was glad. I was glad that I finally had friends. Here I felt calm, no screams, no broken dishes, no stinging slaps. When I had already fully come to my senses, I felt very hungry, wandered around the clearing, picked some berries, and got some water. I also built myself a small hut to shelter from the wind and rain. We chatted with my new old friends until late at night, without noticing how it got dark. I've never felt so good, even though I was hungry and dirty. I felt completely safe. I felt that this was my home. My real home. When I fell asleep, filled with joy, I no longer remembered why I ran into the forest. I felt too good to think about it. But good things must come to an end. Wake up, you little bastard. The sound of a shot woke me up at that very second. A real monster stood in front of me. All the joy immediately vanished. Fear filled me again from head to toe. Father? No. Where from? Why are you here, and what's wrong with Mom? I knew I'd find you here somewhere. I didn't have to look long. I wish she could at least hide somewhere in the city. It doesn't matter anymore. I'm better off. And and mother. Mom. Mom's gone already. Ah. And it's time to finish with you too. Finally. He uttered the last words with such relief as if he had lifted a weight from his soul or fulfilled his long-held dream. I didn't even have time to say anything before the shot. There wasn't even time to think about anything. Everything happened simply and quickly, without hesitation. Darkness. It's so dark and quiet. Where am I? I can't move. I don't understand anything. What's happening? Ah. Is there anyone here? Greetings, my human friend. Fly Agaric? I feel kind of weird. It's as if I don't feel anything at all. It's not surprising. You could say that at the moment you are nowhere and you are located nowhere. What do you mean, nowhere? And so, you are between two worlds, so to speak. So, I died? In the human world you died, but your soul remained alive and found itself at a crossroads. Wow. This is not at all how I imagined this place. Well, I didn't really imagine it as such. I never thought I'd ever end up here. What second world? Our world, the world of forest dwellers. Amazing. So it turns out that I can choose either of the two worlds and continue living as before? Not exactly, that won't work. Since you are now only a soul without a physical shell, then by choosing one of these worlds, you choose which shell you will move into. Yes, it sounds like you can choose and calmly return to life, as if nothing happened. In fact, I can't tell you what will happen to you after your choice, whether you will live at all and what shell you will take. I only tell the souls who come here where they are and what options they have. Your future destiny depends only on your choice at this moment. Only from my choice. But I don't even remember why I died, what happened to me, and if I return to my world, at what point? At the moment of death? I can't tell you that. Your destiny is your choice. It's clear. In any case, I don't want to stay in this darkness either. I choose... Okay, let's go back to the human world. Oh no, I remember everything. It hurts so much. It's dark. It's empty and painful inside. It's cold. I don't feel anything. I'm sorry, Dad, Mom. Okay, death. I'm assuming that that was the real ending. We'll explore our other option, the world of forest dwellers. What's wrong with me? Calm down, don't worry, I'm with you. Am I now a mushroom like you? Apparently yes. Your father shot you, you fell to the ground and began to transform. Was that my choice? I chose to become a mushroom? Maybe this is what I always wanted. Now I can stay in the forest forever with my friends. My father won't touch me anymore. But mom is gone too, and I couldn't stop him. Don't blame yourself, you made the right choice. Your mother's watching over you from heaven now and is glad that you are safe. Really? Okay, so be it. I really am safe. Mom, no need to worry anymore. End. Okay, that's the end of Mushroom Boy. Very hard-hitting conclusion. My thoughts on the game is that it had a nice, simplistic color palette, but the music also helped pace the game and set a nice atmosphere. What was presented was that he is a boy who came from an abusive family, ran away. Aside from the plot, I think this game points out a common theme when it comes to abuse victims. People tend to concoct or imagine like friends or put themselves in a different state of reality so that they can cope with the pain. Yeah, this was pretty depressing and sad, and you can only wish for the best for those who go through this. Hope you all enjoyed Running Away from Home. I'll see you in the next one.